In this week's minisode, I'm going to walk you through an exercise that will help you connect the dots of your life and lead you to your soul's purpose. We all have internal callings that draw us to certain activities. We don't always know why we're drawn to certain things. We just know that when we engage in them, we can get into flow, we're naturally good at them, and we feel fulfilled when we do them. We are endlessly curious about them, wanting to know more and get better at them. It's called the path of fascination, and it's a big clue in uncovering your dharma. This exercise will help you see how each of the things you were passionate about in your life is just a different expression of the dharma that lies within your soul. Once we understand why we are drawn to certain things, we can begin to understand what we need to feel fulfilled in our life. Have fun with this one, friends. I bet you get some aha moments today. And if you do, I'd love to hear them. Email me at katie@momontheverge.org. And if you're ready to take a deep dive into understanding your soul's purpose and putting it into action in your life, sign up for a discovery call at momontheverge.org. Have fun and let me know how it goes. Hello, friends. Welcome back to another mini-sode. I had my Dharma workshop last week, which was amazing. We really just had such a great time just learning individually, learning from each other, being in community. It was wonderful. And I did an exercise with the participants that I thought I would use this week as the mini-sode because it seemed to be so helpful to the people on the call. And if you recall, your dharma is your essence, right? It's your true self, it's your soul's purpose, it's your reason for being here. And we have always had it since we were born. And it might we might express it in a different way throughout our lives. It's not one singular activity or occupation or role that we play, but it's more a way in which we see the world. It's kind of a lens through which we see the world and what we just feel innately drawn to do and how we innately feel we want to be. And so it can be, very large categories. It can fall under very large categories. Like maybe you're a creative, right? Maybe that's your dharma is you're a creative, but you can express that in so many different ways. You could be a chef. You could be someone who likes to design rooms. It loves interior design, or you love to paint, or you love to play music, or you love to put outfits together, or you're super interested in makeup, or the list goes on and on and on in ways in which you can be creative. So maybe your dharma is to be creative, but the way in which you express that dharma not only changes from person to person, right? Because many people can have the dharma of being creative, but the way in which you express it would be different from somebody else who also has that dharma. And then also, as you move through your life, through the different stages and phases of your life, you will express your dharma in a different way. So my dharma is a teacher and a caretaker. You can also have several dharma themes that run through your life. So I'm a nurturer, I'm a teacher, I'm a caretaker. And when I look back on my life, and particularly the professions that I've held, I was a teacher, I am a nurse, now I'm a life coach. These are all professions in which I was playing to my dharma of being a teacher, being a nurturer, being a caretaker. So we can see these things showing up over and over, but because they are actually so natural and innate to us, sometimes we overlook them. We don't even recognize them because it's almost a taking for granted that we just don't take the time to see the central themes that are running throughout our lives. And even in parenthood or our jobs, we might not like all aspects of parenthood, right? Not all parts of parenthood may be enjoyable to us, or not all parts of our job may be enjoyable to us. But I bet if we stop and we think about it, we can identify the parts of parenthood that really light us up, right? What's the part of parenthood that you just feel like you are in your zone when you are doing that part of parenthood? And the same with your job. If you work outside the home, is there part of your job that you're like, yes, this is the part that I really love, or these are the parts that I really love. These are all signs that are pointing towards your dharma. It's also the things that just came so naturally and easily to you. You just didn't really have to work on them that hard. Sure, you could always, always improve them, always get better, always, expand in those areas. But the baseline just came so easily, like someone who was meant to play a musical instrument. And yes, do they have to practice and work hard and learn and get better? Yes. But innately, they were just drawn to that instrument and they picked it up and they had a natural talent for it because it was their dharma, right? We all have that in some capacity in this life. So I love this little exercise that I did with the participants because it helps us to see what we are blind to because it is just so innately part of us that we take it for granted. So, what I would invite you to do is if you are not driving or doing anything where you can't, stop, then I would invite you to get a piece of paper or a journal and a pen. If you are driving, stop the recording right now and maybe do this when you get home. It's a great activity to do right before bed, or if you have a morning routine when you first wake up in the morning. And I recommend both of those times because they are times when we're a little more grounded, a little more centered, a little more calm, and so things might start flowing a little bit better when you start putting pen to paper. But really, this can be done at any time. If you're at work and on a lunch break and you want to do it, if you just have a few minutes of peace and calm throughout your day, any time is perfect. But what we'll do is we'll grab that piece of paper and pen, and we're not going to take this too seriously. Okay. So this should be a fun little self-inquiry mindfulness activity. And don't take it too seriously. And I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Let's take a deep breath together, in through the nose, as deep and full as you can, out through the mouth, sighing the breath out, just letting it go, coming to your center. We'll do that again, in through the nose, as full and deep as you can, exhaling out of the mouth, long and slow. One last deep breath in through the nose, expanding in the front and the back and the side chest walls, and exhaling it all out. Let everything come back to the center again. Good. Now, opening your eyes, grabbing that paper, I want you to go back to your childhood. So take a moment in your mind's eye to go back to your childhood as early as you can possibly remember. And I want you to write down some of the activities that you just really love to do. Were you a kid who was drawn to being outside all the time and riding your bike or playing in the dirt or climbing trees? Were you a kid who was more interested in creative supplies? Did you like to art? Did you like to draw or paint or color or use clay? Were you a kid who was a reader? You couldn't get your nose out of a book. You were just always drawn to books for as long as you can remember. You enjoyed being read to. You enjoyed reading yourself. You just found books fascinating. What kind of things were you drawn to? So just take a few moments to think about this. Maybe you like to pretend play. Maybe you liked listening to music. Did you like to play alone, or did you prefer to play with friends? Thinking about activities that you were just naturally drawn to from as little as you can remember to probably the end of grade school. And now let's move on to that middle part of our childhood, probably 12 or 13 up through high school. What were you drawn to then? What came naturally to you? What did you feel curious about? What were you fascinated with? Did you like to build things? Did you play sports? What about, a lazy Saturday or Sunday when you had nothing going on? What would you want to do with that day when you were probably between the ages of 12 and 13 and 18? And was there ever anything during that time that other people thought was hard, but yet just seemed to come easily to you and you didn't know why? And now let's move to young adulthood, college, and up through our 20s. What was pulling at you then? What were you interested in, fascinated by? What did you want to learn more about? Where did you feel flow, where you could just drop in and time would pass without you even recognizing it was passing? You all of a sudden come up for air from your activity and realize an hour had passed or 2 hours had passed. And you almost never had enough time to do these things that you love doing so much because you wanted more and more time all the time. And these aren't things that you did because you should or you had to, or you were going to get some sort of praise or recognition for doing, or that you were expected to do by parents or peers. These are the things that you just couldn't not do. And now let's take it to our 30s and 40s. The responsibilities of life for many of us are setting in around that time. Kids, jobs, homes, time may be more restricted. What are the things that when you have just a few moments that you want to do? What do you want to do with that time? Are you gravitated back to reading a book or doing something creative or doing something with your body, physically active? Do you like to cook, travel, build Legos? What lights you up? What makes you feel excited, fulfilled, happy, joyful? knowing that time is often limited during this stage. What are the things that you still just can't not do? You just have to find some time to do them. And lastly, let's write a list of your dreams. What do you hope to be able to do in the future? What are those dreams that just keep showing up over and over for you? That if you were to close your eyes and imagine your perfect future, these things would be part of it. And now we have 2 more lists left. If you're a parent and you're listening to this, we all know that we don't love every aspect of parenting. But there's usually parts that we actually really do enjoy, parts where we feel like we're in our parenting zone of genius. What is that for you? What parts of parenthood really light you up? And lastly, if you work outside of the home, in your job, whether you like your job a lot or whether you really don't like it that much and it's basically a paycheck, what parts of it can you say you really enjoy? What parts of the job, even if it's not your ideal job, make the job tolerable, make you feel like you're good at it, make you feel like you're having impact? Okay. So that's a lot of lists that we did. And what I would invite you to do after finishing listening to this podcast is to try to find central themes throughout those lists. So, are you finding themes of creativity, caretaking, building, nurturing, teaching, envisioning? What themes seem to show up over and over for you? And when you can identify those themes, it will really help point you in the direction of your dharma. You'll start to see clear patterns. You'll start to connect the dots of your life that were always there, but because in between those dots there was a lot of noise, you didn't always see the theme that was running through your life. So this exercise will help you to pull out that theme and get to know yourself just a little bit better and start recognizing what you took for granted and was right in front of you the whole time. I hope you found this helpful, this exercise helpful. I would love to hear. You can always email me at katie@momontheverge.org and let me know. Would love to know what you thought of the exercise. I'd also love to know what themes you were able to pull out and how you saw these overarching categories showing up in your life throughout your life. All right, have a wonderful day. I hope this was fun for you. And I will be back with you on Friday for another regular episode. Bye-bye, friends.